Welcome to the bold analysis. Yesterday, there was a big event in this country, and we could not overlook the Wamunyoro rapture. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened yesterday in Wamunyoro, Regathi Gachagwa's residence, is something that politically is having a bearing. And the next government maybe was formed in Wamunyoro. In this podcast, I'm going to demonstrate to you what exactly I saw there and why Mount Kenya is going to be a place, is going to shock President Ruto as we talk. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. But before we get to those details, I want to request you to take a minute and support this girl here. I'm yet again standing in the gap of the third girl in this channel. Lucy here is stranded. She's supposed to be starting her second semester in Homa Bay KMTC. But because of financial challenges, Lucy was being supported by someone in the community back, but things went south and she could not be able to get the support. She had a parent who is not in a very good, stable mind. The home became very toxic and she was being supported by someone else who then has not been able to support. So we decided as the bold team to take up Lucy's case so that we can support her get school fees. For the KMTC, the outstanding balance is in the tune of 96,000, and the other requirements that she joined but had not even been sorted. So we are looking for 150,000 so that we can clear her fees for the whole year and also buy some few requirements, and so that she can also get some money to sustain her. So I've already spoken with her, and I'm going to send David, one of my team members in Homa Bay, on Thursday so that she can pay the whole fee. And I've promised her that it will be done because I believe we will do it. Kindly support this with what you can get. Let's do a 100 bob challenge. So that if you can do this today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, probably, I believe, we will have supported this lady, this girl, Lucy. Thank you. This is the third girl we are supporting. And of course, looking at Lucy's situation, I will really need some of us to still coalesce around her and sponsor her throughout, even from next year. But also, hata sipopata, nitakuwa nafanya yearly fundraiser to support her. I want to say thank you. And I said this is the third girl. We have Marvel, Maseno University, that the foundation that we are sponsoring as the bold. We have Juliet Moranga, that as a foundation we are supporting. And we have Ken, who is in Kirinyaga University, engineering, that we also supported and we're supporting here. So Lucy is going to be the third, and kindly, I believe, we can pull it. Send me what you can have. It's going to be the fourth. I'm going to send my team on Thursday so that they can sort out this girl. And thank you very much as a purpose to support. In the flip side, before we get to Wamunyoro, let me just play for you a video. There is a new video that has emerged from the shoe throwing drama in Migori. And you can have a look at it. And some people have started arguing that probably that incident was stage managed. But I just told you that was a flip side. Now, I wanted to get to Wamunyoro. The event yesterday, where leaders flocked Regathi Gachagwa's residence, was actually fashioned. And it was an event by Martha Karua, was supposed to be the chief guest, allegedly. Remember last year when Regathi Gachagua made a visit to Martha Karua's residence in Gishugu, Kirinyaga County, so Martha Karua was supposed to make a return trip to Wamunyoro. And that was, she was supposed to be the chief guest. So when I want us to look at the attendance and we really find out what was the real motive of Wamunyoro rapture. First, let me tell you, I have looked at that event and I can tell you the Martha Karua as the organizer of making that return trip was just smokescreen. The event was organized for Matiang'i reception in Mount Kenya. It came days after Regathi shook the ground in Kisii. And from this, we are going to find out, when you watch this video, we are going to find out that man, but from my observation, that is one thing I can see. Remember, to support our vision, to support this girl here, Lucy. First, let's look at attendance. I saw some strange faces. Maina Kambanda. Maina Kambanda was in Azimio. And these are the people that were supporting Raila Odinga. And they were under Uhuru Kenyatta. I saw Kipruto Arap Kirwa. He was brought there as the image of Kalenjin nation in that coalition. I saw Dennis Waweru. And if you look at this photo, Dennis Waweru actually received Matiang'i. He arrived with Matiang'i, Dagoretti North Member of Parliament. Now, these three, this Maina Kambanda and Dennis Waweru, are actually key Uhuru Kenyatta allies. And from there you can see the shadow of Uhuru Kenyatta in the background. Mithika Linturi and Justin Muturi, who are the latest to leave Ruto administration, were present, and I saw Noah Wekesa, the veteran politician from Trans Nzoia. That is the politician that was representing none other than Natembeya. Even though he got a parastatal job from Ruto administration, I don't know what happened. From those strange faces, that can show you the level of mobilization. And from that mobilization, something that shocked me I think before I left church, I saw this video. This video of Kalonzo Musyoka convoy, the Kalonzo's convoy heading to Wamunyoro. And we were shocked because there was no poster. There was no Facebook post. There was no media invite to cover the event. In fact, the media just realized something is happening in Wamunyoro. They did not send any invite. And the way they did that mobilization, it caught the state off guard. And if you look at the delegation there, it is very clear the event in Wamunyoro, while it was Martha Karua allegedly returning to Wamunyoro, but the event was well funded. And because of the financial nini in it, you cannot tell me that was funded by Karua herself. The financial input in it is a very key indicator as to the stakes that were in that meeting. Let's look at Matiang'i's dramatic arrival. And there are things I would want you to look at.
Ya Mheshimiwa Fred Matiang'i Mapinduzi Wamunyoro ye Aya DJ Wamunyoro ye Wamunyoro ye Wamunyoro ye Wapinduru ya Fred Matiang'i. Karibu sana. Karibu sana. Wete dauni. Asante sana. Wapi nduru ya Matiang'i? Na amekuja na wabunge wengi. Wapi nduru ya Matiang'i?
You see, it was not just a coincidence that Matiang'i arrived last. In politics, when in such events, it is the chief guest or the surprise guest that arrives last. And when he is arriving and the kind of reception is being given, they are supposed to send a message. It is not that Matiang'i went there by surprise. They were all in conversation and all this was planned. Remember, Matiang'i arrived when Kalonzo, Eugene, and the others were already seated there. Matiang'i arrived later. You can see the way the MC hyped his arrival. You can look at the level of reception. You cannot compare that even with Kalonzo reception there. And all that was choreographed, that Matiang'i was going to be the chief guest. And just to tell you that there was a plan between Regathi and Uhuru on Matiang'i. Look who arrived with Matiang'i, Malala. Malala is Regathi Gachagwa's key ally. The other person who arrived with Matiang'i was Dennis Waweru. Dennis Waweru is Uhuru Kenyatta's key ally. From my projection is this. Matiang'i arrived in Nyeri, or he was somewhere just resting, following the event, and then he was signaled as to when to arrive there. They were supposed to send a message that Matiang'i's dramatic arrival and also being accompanied by Malala. Malala is supposed to be the Secretary General of the party. Now, I looked at, after he arrived, he went and sat next to Cecil Kariuki. Cecil Kariuki was a former cabinet secretary who worked with Uhuru Kenyatta. I've not mentioned as one of the strange guests because she had already joined Wamoronyoro even before. So, this is where Matiang'i was seated. Not, of course, in the front view, but far from where she was, where the others were seated. Then something happened. Look at, after that, he was moved and sat in the middle between Regathi and Kalonzo. If you look at this photo, that seat, that is the seat, and of course, he arrived late. Ordinarily, if it was just your casual visitor, he would have just remained uko karibu na Cecil Kariuki. Of course, that is someone he had worked with in cabinet, so they could catch up. But this change of sitting arrangement so that he could sit next to Regathi and Kalonzo. And let me tell you, you know who left, who created space for him? Martha Karua. Look at this photo. Martha Karua is the person who was seated there. So immediately Matiang'i arrived, Martha Karua, who was the chief guest and had even announced her presidential bid, is the person that left her seat, and that seat was occupied by Matiang'i. And that is why I'm telling you that that event was actually organized to receive Matiang'i. Another observation. Immediately Matiang'i arrived, Citizen TV switched and started giving that Wamunyoro event live coverage. You want to say it's a coincidence? You want to say it's a coincidence? It's not. It was planned. The coverage they gave that event when Matiang'i arrived, it was very strategic. In the other aspect, I want us to look at the speeches. And I've picked Malala's speech, Matiang'i speech, and Regathi's speech. I've picked those three speeches from Wamunyoro because there is something I want us to grasp from them. And there was critical I did some critical view on those three speeches because they were actually the voice of that event. As I told you, Matiang'i voice was the voice of that event. I'm convinced he was the chief guest. And that event was organized for him so that he can be received in Mount Kenya. And they had to do it in a manner like the others should not get annoyed. Kalonzo's and Eugene, of course, Eugene doesn't have a problem. So that Kalonzo will not get like Matiang'i is getting preferential treatment. But I know that the odds are getting high for Matiang'i. Remember, I'm still reminding you to make sure and support our girl Lucy. We are doing a 200 bob, 100 bob challenge so that you can have fundraise 150,000 between today to Wednesday, up to Wednesday, so that I can send someone to sort her fees in Homa Bay KMTC. I'm going to send one of my team to sort her fees so that she can also get her way. And remember, after we are done with this, I'm still going to reach out to you. Those who will still be willing and able to sponsor her, to get her sponsorship so that from next year she will. But also, as I told you, she's going to be our third girl in the foundation. If need be, we'll be doing another fundraiser for her probably next year. But I believe that we do it. This is what we do to transform the society. Listen to Malala.
Uweke wakora wote pamoja. Tuko na mkora mwingine anaitwa Raila Odinga. We must mention ukora yake leo pia hapa. Niseme nisiseme? Mulikutana KICC. Mukasign mkataba. Mukasema kwamba chama cha ODM na chama cha UDA kinaungana pamoja ati muende muhakikishe kwamba wale majenzis walikufa na wale walidhulumiwa wakati wa maandamano wanaenda kukompensetiwa. Raila Odinga, mwaka moja ndio inaisha. We want to ask you, ni jenzi wangapi ambao wamekompensetiwa? Raila Odinga, nataka kukuuliza swali moja. Yule Mbadi ambaye umepatia kazi, huyo ni jenzi ambaye aliuliwa? Yule mtoto wa Oburu Odinga ambaye umepatia kazi kwa ofisi ya rais, huyo ni jenzi ambaye aliuliwa?
What Malala is saying, and why did they pick Malala? Malala arrived with Matiang'i. That's why I picked Malala's speech. Malala arrived with Matiang'i. So I want to believe that Malala had a brief with Matiang'i before that event. And that brief could have been given by Matiang'i's handlers. So what Malala is saying is probably what Matiang'i handlers are saying. Okay? And it's a very strategic scheme. Something that some of us have been warning Raila Odinga. That the Gen Z blood is going to be stained in his hand. And that is what Malala is saying. In 2027, one of the things that will deny Raila Odinga a comeback is what he portrays as statesmanship or serving the nation is largely seen and perceived. And those who are perceiving, so you can also not blame them to be wrong. You cannot be right throughout. Like a betrayal of a national cause. And that betrayal is what is going to be, that blood is stained in his hand. Odinga may not get away with it. And I've seen this team, they're picked. Raila is going to be the object of hate. In politics, politicians always look for object of hate. And that is what Ruto did in 2022. Ruto made Uhuru and Raila be the object of hate. Now, the Kalonzo Regathi Matiang'i team are going to make Ruto and Raila the object of hate. And this one, Raila will not get away from it unless he pulls out of that and endorses what this other team are saying. The second speech is by Matiang'i. Very short. I like his speeches. Very short. And short so that it is not saturated, it is not crowded with a lot of nonsense, with a lot of tribal rhetoric. 2 messages from Matiang'i I want you to listen to.
Our ambitions or find a way of working with each other, it is worth it and we will do it so that we move our country forward. Na nyinyi wenyewe pia, tafadhali wananchi, tukianza kuzungumza vile tunazungumza, mzingiwe na hizi porocho za huku kuambia huyu ameenda hivi, huyu anafanya hivi namna hii. Tuko tayari. Kazi ya kuongoza nchi na kazi ya kuendesha nchi sio kazi ngumu. Watu wengine walikuwa wananiuliza eti wewe tunataka urudi kwa public life. Are you serious? Nikasema there's no time in my life I've never been serious. Because wakati nilikuwa Minister for Education, mimi kazi sio shida kwangu, na kwanza kazi ikitajwa mimi nachangamka sana. Nilikuwa nafungua container ya mtihani saa 9 usiku. Napiga shule 15 hapa, naanzia Mudwaini kule, kisha ukati Mungandu Girls, naenda kumalizia pande ile ya Nyeri huko juu. And I was all over the place. The following day I would be in Kambiamoto, opening containers at 3 a.m. in the morning, kupigana na wakora wa kusumbua watoto wetu kwa shule. Sasa mimi niko tayari kupigana na watu kama hao, ndio kazi yangu. Mimi niko tayari. Na hiyo kazi, nyinyi wananchi ndio mnatoa hiyo kazi. Nyinyi ndio mko na kadi ya kura, nyinyi ndio mko na kipande, nyinyi ndio mtaamka asubuhi, muamue ni nani mnapea hiyo kazi. Sisi wakati ukifika, ninawaahidi mkitupea hiyo kazi, mtaona vile nchi itaenda. Because we need to clean our country, we need to restore the faith of government so that people can trust the government again. That serikali ikikwambia kitu, kiongozi wa serikali akikwambia kitu, you can go to sleep and trust what they are telling you. Sio eti mnaambiwa hii tunacheza na wananchi vile tunacheza hivi. Ya mwisho, wananchi nataka kuomba hivi. Na mimi namshukuru Deputy President Regathi na Mama Dorcas kwa kutualika. This is very important to me. Wananchi, when there is a problem in a country like we have now, challenges of various kinds, you will be tempted very easily. Kwanza sasa, with the frustrations we have, disappointments, unfulfilled promises, hata viongozi wengine wanaweza kwanza sasa kutukawanya sisi wenyewe. Tuanze kupigana. Hii maneno mnasikia tunaambiwa 41 versus I don't know what. Hiyo yote ni style ya kufanya sisi tuanze kupigana. Tusahau shida zetu, badala ya kutumia wakati wetu kutafuta suluhisho kwa hayo maneno yote, tuanze sasa kupigana sisi wenyewe. Watu wanapiga nduru hapa Nyeri wako na shida, kule Nyamira wako na shida, kule Taita Taveta wako na shida, kule Kakamega wako na shida. Sasa ukabila unatusaidia nini? Sisi sote tuko na shida. Basi tunatafuta namna ya kutafuta suluhisho so that tusaidia nini? Sisi sote tuko na shida. Basi tunatafuta namna.
This is something that some of us have been saying, that in that team, Regathi is player number 6. You cannot despise that. Regathi is Declan Rice. Regathi is Pedri. Regathi is Rodri. Regathi is Rodri to Man City. Regathi is Rice. Regathi is Partey, that is. But Matiang'i needed to come out more as not basing on the tribal arithmetic. Yes. And Matiang'i needs to do a pitch on what he stands for. And that is the pitch he's making. That pitch is very important, so that he disabuse the notion and the narrative that could be peddled that he is actually not doing the right thing and is fixing. Matiang'i pitch on fixing government. That is the portion that he needs. There's a bit is Regathi Gachagua.
Mimi niseme rais ulikuwa hapa juzi. Mimi ni kwa sababu ni muungwana na niheshimu ofisi yako. Nikatoa mwelekeo kwa mlima. Nikasema usitukanwe na mtu yeyote. Nikasema usipigiwe kelele. Ukuje uongee na watu ya mlima lakini uwalipe kwa sababu unakuja kuongea uongo. Si ndio? Si nilisema mchukue pesa? Mimi nikasema msikize uongo lakini lakini wacha nikuambie William Ruto, ukiendelea kutumia vijana kutukana Uhuru Kenyatta, next time utakuja mlima, mimi nitatoa amri, hawa wananchi watakutukana wewe mwenyewe. Neguo. Lazima sasa kuanzia leo ni kinge na kumlinda ndugu yangu Uhuru Kenyatta. Wewe William Ruto ulikuja hapa ukatudanganya na Biblia. Ukatuambia Uhuru Kenyatta ni mlevi, tukakuamini. Ukatuambia Uhuru Kenyatta ni mzembe, ukayangaisha serikali yake. Ukatudanganya sisi sote mpaka watu ya kanisa. Tukamkemea Uhuru Kenyatta ndugu yetu, kiongozi wetu. Tukamwaibisha, tukafanyia Uhuru Kenyatta madhambi yoyote. Tukakuja kujua wewe ulikuwa ni mbwa mwitu umevaa ngozi ya kondoo. Mimi nataka nikuambie William Ruto, I want to tell you from the mountain. Yeah? Nataka nikuambie. I want to tell you William Ruto, hakuna vibaraka yako tena watatukana Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. You did enough damage to Uhuru Kenyatta. You misled all of us. We humiliated our son. We embarrassed.
And that's what I'm telling you. That event, Regathi has been defending Ruto, Uhuru. But on that, there is a discussion going on. And William Ruto team has sent attack dogs to descend on Uhuru Kenyatta. I even saw Farouk saying, you know, I think that was Farouk saying that they will deny Uhuru Kenyatta retirement benefits, and some of us were asking, what is the capacity of Farouk? From which side is Farouk talking? Maybe you may never know. And Regathi is putting it clear, the defense of Uhuru Kenyatta. This is telling you that Regathi and Uhuru has reconciled at the candidature of Matiang'i. And if you want to know things are not right, William Ruto today was in Rongo, and he's feeling threatened. He responded to that. Yesterday first, I saw Kithure Kindiki now tweeting, the contest is now clearly defined. This is Kithure Kindiki. He made a post last night, and I'm just wondering, the contest has been defined, but Kindiki, Ruto is not going to pick Kindiki. Akina mwonea huruma. Ruto hatamchukua kama running mate. Because the oligarchs, Railas, unless the Railas leave the scene. But if Railas remain in the scene, then Kindiki is not going to be the running mate. But Ruto reacted in Kisii, in Rongo today, and was telling them about the tribalists.
Mwisho, mimi nataka niwaambie viongozi wa taifa letu la Kenya, mimi nataka niwaeleze wakati huu ni wakati wa kupanga mambo ya kazi ya wananchi. Hii mambo ingine mingi ya kupanga siasa, kuna siku ya siasa itakuja, na hiyo ni 2027. Wanaume na wanawake watakutana kwenye debe. Wale watakuwa na bahati watasonga mbele, wale hawatakuwa na bahati watakwenda kuvua samaki, wengine wataenda kulima shamba. Hakuna problem. Ama namna gani? Mnasemaje nyinyi wananchi? Si nyinyi wananchi ndio kuamua? Mimi nauliza hapa Rongo, wewe mtu ya tarumbeta, ngojea sasa. Wewe mtu ya tarumbeta, nimeacha nikuulize. Nilikuwa nimesoma kwa Biblia ati tarumbeta itapigwa ndio tuende mbinguni. Sasa hii tarumbeta, kwani tunaenda mbinguni leo? Ngojea na tarumbeta kwanza. Ama namna gani? Sasa niulize nyinyi watu waliosiri hapa, watu wa Rongo, si nyinyi ndio mtaamua nani ataendelea, nani atabaki? Si nyinyi ndio mtaamua MCA, muamue wabunge na maseneta na magavana na rais, ama namna gani? Si mtaamua nani amefanya kazi? Hapa hakuna kuamua kwa sababu ati sura, mtu wako na sura. Si contest ya urembo. Hatutaamua kwa sababu ati nani ni wa kabila gani. Hawa wananchi wanataka kujua nani yako na mpango ya kujenga barabara, nani yako na mpango ya kuunganisha stima, nani yako na mpango ya kilimo, nani yako na mpango ya ajira ya hawa vijana. That is going to be the yardstick upon which the people of Kenya will elect the next leaders.
This is what I saw in Wamunyoro. This is it. Uhuru Kenyatta, the fourth president of the Republic of Kenya, and the second deputy president, Regathi and Ruto, are elevating Matiang'i for the presidential bid. They are elevating Matiang'i. Yeah. And two possibilities are here. If the campaign is going to be funded by the Kikuyu nation, by the Kikuyu oligarchs, then Kalonzo will have to make the right decision. Either to be the candidate or accept to deputize Matiang'i. That will be it. Deputize Matiang'i. But so long as Matiang'i is in that government, even as a deputy, I believe he can still deliver. Number two, Raila is clearly being pushed around Ruto, and he will regret that handshake because he's going to be the hate object. He's going to be the hate object. I had a speech, which I've not played for you, a speech by Onyonka. Onyonka was saying that Salase is chasing Raila from Western. You know, the politics is not going to be very easy. And I know even as this team sits there, still finding out whether they will be able to hold together. That is, Matiang'i is strategically placed to be sold to Mount Kenya. Kikuyu billionaires are regrouping around Uhuru and Gachagua. That's why you saw that coverage. That's why you saw the kind of money. There was money involved, I can tell you. That kind of an event is not just easy to be done. And the way they managed it, because if government would have known, then the bloggers would have been dispatched on him. And in fact, one thing that I can see is even Uhuru Kenyatta and Regathi Gachagua has handed over the political mantle, the political capital to Regathi. It has been done. And one person that should get worried is Jeremiah Kioni. I don't think Uhuru and Jeremiah Kioni are speaking the same script. Jeremiah Kioni was not there. But Matiang'i and Uhuru has one thing. Ruto Blanda is sowing enmity. And I'm seeing them attacking Uhuru Kenyatta now. I'm like, you guys are getting it wrong. This issue of sowing enmity on Uhuru and Regathi is not it. And in fact, you might call it tribal coalition. But is it the first time? In 2002, it was all people. There was people from Kalenjin, there was the candidate from Kikuyu. Raila was from Nyanza. There was Vice President Eugene Wamalwa, the Kijana Wamalwa from Western. There was Charity Ngilu and Kalonzo Musyoka from Cumberland. As in, what is so wrong with this thing? I don't know what is this hula baloo with the tribal thing. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take on what happened in Wamunyoro, but kindly support us so that we can be a blessing to this girl. On Thursday, I believe, we'll be able to dispatch my team so that they can pay her fees. Asanteni.